So what lovely countenance is in front of the camera today?
Victoria Arnstein, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
So Victoria, what led you into adopting a fruit-based lifestyle, and how did your health journey begin along that path?
Well, I ended up getting really fed up and sick and tired of being sick and tired. I kind of knew about vegetarianism through my husband, and you know, I really didn't want to subscribe to it, but I knew it was healthy. I knew about macrobiotics before I met my husband. I also thought it was just something that I can do as a, as a way to just lose weight. I never thought of it, for any health reasons. I never really thought of health as anything, significant in my life. I just went about my day and thought that food was just food. I never really equated it to health and feeling. And as I researched and started experimenting, I started feeling a lot better when I ate things that were just not processed. And as a teen, I would go on fruit diets for complete vanity. Like, it was just Monday through Friday, and I didn't sustain it because I didn't think it was that good for me to do. I thought it would make me sick if I just had fruits. So I would just do fruits from Monday to Friday and eat whatever I wanted on weekends. And it was a way to not have to exercise every single day because I was working really far from my home. So I didn't think I had time. But what's ironic is I started feeling really, really good. And I was like, that's so weird. I thought I was supposed to get sick from this diet, but I would have sold my soul to the devil just to lose weight. Like, if you told me to drink formaldehyde, I probably would have, So I ended up having fruit then. I always loved fruit. There was always fruit around my house. I always thought of it as fat-free, so it was like the safe food, and I never had any issues with fruit. And one day I typed into the computer the best diet in the world because I was really getting overweight, and I already knew about changing over from, white stuff to the brown stuff, and that stuff I knew. I knew the macrobiotic way. I just never heard of a fruit-based diet. That was just crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, my diet from when I was a teen is actually a real thing. Like, people do this for longer than a week, and they're okay, and they're thriving. So I listened to an interview with Dr. Graham, and it was just, oh my God, it made so much sense. I was trying the raw diet that was high fat, and it was getting cumbersome, it was getting annoying, doing all the recipes, and I just never felt good on it, and I never lost weight on it, and it wasn't anything that I was happy about. And that's when I was fed up, and I finally heard this interview with Dr. Graham, and I was so thrilled. And I bought his book. I rarely buy books. Like, I never order them online, but I ordered it that minute. That told me something. I said, wow, this interview makes sense. And that minute I ordered it, and it came in time just before I took a trip to Napa Valley Marathon with my husband. And I said, ooh, I just got this book, now I'll read this on the plane. So I'm reading it, and then I'm reading in the hotel room, and Michael says to me, I don't want to hear it. And I'm reading things out loud to him, and I'm quoting Dr. Graham. And he says, no, I heard it all. I know, nothing in a package, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you have to hear this recipe. And it just said blueberries and joy. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, look, this guy has done triathlons, and he knows what he's talking about. He's doing this book. He wrote a whole book on fruit as a way of life. He's like, that's impossible. He takes the book from me, he starts reading through it. I'm like, get your own book. And that's exactly what he did. He ordered 12 more. We got really, really sick with like 102 fever for a week. We were in bed, and he was highlighting every single line in this book. Like, I don't think there's a line that wasn't highlighted that he needed to really absorb and grasp. And he said, that's it, close the book, I'm doing this diet. And we both did it together. And I think 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks later, we went to Disney World. And I couldn't keep it 100% on the cruise line. I had a piece of bread because I was with the kids, and I was all nervous and everything about how to sustain it. I wasn't getting good fruit. And he got so angry that I got off this diet. I think he was going through a bit of a detox because he was so upset, and that I wasn't on the same team. I said, I'll go back on. I just had one piece of bread, and I tried to go back on and off and on and off, and this was my best year ever. 2012, I finally, you know, I can count the times that I had cooked food. I didn't going all into this is too much for me because I'm a very balanced person. So to wrap my brain around something like that, I always believed in it. But for me, temptation strikes, and I just wither away sometimes. But now my beliefs are so much stronger because I've gone onto the forums, I've watched the videos, I've done my research, and I'm in the game at all times because it's very easy to lose yourself to the outside world and assimilate. And so now I'm like really involved, and so that keeps me in check. And I don't know, I just feel very focused in eliminating things over the years. Dairy was one thing. I mourned the loss of it. I gave it a funeral, and it was something that I was really attached to, and you know, I was able to get rid of things slowly but surely, and each year I gave away another item. I think my last one was oil last year. I just, oil to me now, I can't believe how addicted I was. To me, it's something you put on your body. Like, I can't believe I was attracted to this for so long. It's the way you're brought up, you know?
And what benefits have you noticed since being able to adhere to the diet for last year?
I could exercise for way longer. I just won a 100K race.
You did what?
I just won my first 100K race, 62 miles in the mountains of Vermont. And I never could have done that on anything but a fruit diet. Nothing, or a high carb diet at least. I mean, not even, just a fruit diet. I was all on dates, 60 dates I had on this run. And I just had the energy to burn.
You didn't just complete it, you won it.
Yeah, I didn't just complete it. I won it in 14 hours, 20 minutes. Second place was a seasoned ultra runner, and she came 20 minutes after me. And I wasn't even racing it. I was just getting through. I trained 15 to 20 miles a day on hills, and it paid off. And I wouldn't have been able to do that training had it not been for my dates. I did it all on dates. That's it, just dates. Dates and water, dates and water. Just eating dates, brought them. I had a system. I would take out the pits and put them in parchment paper, 3 in each parchment paper, and eat it like a candy bar. Like people eat Cliff Bars, I say why not just make your own? You know, complete one ingredient, dates.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I never could have done it on anything else. My digestion was perfect, and I had so much energy. You have 3 dates and some water, watch your energy soar. It's like it's the fuel of the future. I mean, it's the fuel of the past. It's biblical. It's so old. But people have to just, you know, think that they have to pay for a package or an item or something commercial or pay for it in order for it to work. And if you have a whole thing of dates, you're not going to be sorry. Actually, my running team, everybody's carrying dates now with them at their races and stuff, so it's catching on.
Did you end up losing some of that weight you were?
Yeah, I mean, training for ultras, I definitely ate a lot, but I wasn't gaining weight. I lost weight over the years. It was subtle, and people are noticing a difference each year that they see me. Every year they see me, they're like, wow, you lost more weight. Oh, wow, you lost more weight. And I think that my body's reshaping and just becoming more toned and more, I think I absorb better. My blood tests are perfect now. Just my B12 is great. I don't even take B12 every day, and it's great. Never used to be on a meat diet, but for some reason now, my B12 after a fast, a water fast for 21 days, it's just balanced everything out. I cleaned my cells out, and now I absorb, and I'm much more sensitive to things now, much more sensitive to foods. I feel a mind-body connection with my mind and body now. I just feel that I feel more focused. I feel more in tune right now. And I got my kids to do it after raising them, you know, on a standard American diet, and, you know, even meat. And I showed them factory farm videos. People might think that's crazy, but guess who's vegan? I'm vegetarian now. My kids. You know, I educate them. I wish I knew. My mother was making a roast beef once when I was 7 years old, and I passed through the kitchen and I said, Mom, is that blood that you're draining? And she said, no, it's the juice. I said, oh, it's juice. Okay. So, I mean, I wish I knew. If she had told me it was blood, I would have not eaten one more piece of meat. I would have been really... and that's what I do for my children. I educate them from now so they don't have to go through all that stuff that I went through. Sinus infections that would be so scarring. I would have scar tissue that even antibiotics couldn't do the trick. I had to go on prednisone, which is a horrible, horrible steroid, and and even that didn't work so much. Every month I would get another reoccurring sinus infection, even with a little bit of skim milk in my coffee. Even with that little bit of skim milk, I used to say it's just a little bit of skim milk. So I was still getting those sinus infections. Get rid of the dairy, no more sinus infections. Haven't had one since. I can't stress that enough. And what I do to people is when I go to a supermarket and I see somebody staring and not knowing which milk to choose, or they're contemplating, or they're just putting milk into their wagon, I say, you know, I used to have sinus infections all the time, but I don't get them anymore. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I haven't had one in years because I stopped having dairy. I'm like, you should try the coconut milk or the, you know, soy milk or anything else, you know? I'm like, really? And I start changing lives, just one fruit at a time. Which, by the way, I have a website called One Fruit at a Time. And on Facebook, where I give healthy, motivating tips daily. I just, you know, talk about the struggles. I mean, will I always have struggles? I don't know, maybe. But I learned from Bruce Lee, who was really, really smart. He said, if it doesn't serve me, I'm not going to have it. And when you go off this lifestyle, there should be a small window of what you're going to have, and then you can recover. Like if it's going to be a potato or a steamed vegetable, you know, maybe a quinoa, if you're going to go off. Don't go off crazy, and then you'll recover, and then, you know, just be kind and rewind, you know?
Thank you, Victoria.